We do have a system of proportionate representation. I think what is most important to know is that we have a parliamentary system in Aruba. The most important rule in this parliamentary system, the Council of Ministers, so the government has to have the faith of Parliament. So it is a very strong competence, power of Parliament to say, government, you need to go, of course. And on the other hand, the government has the power to dissolve Parliament. So we have checks and balances. So nobody or no actor, no organ within the state can be able to obtain all power.
Now that is Aruba's electoral system in a nutshell. December 6, 2024 is election day here on the island, and the people of Aruba will be heading to the polls to cast their vote. So let's get familiar with the electoral framework of Aruba.
This one has a lot of legislation in it. So for example,
Hannah Meyer is with the University of Aruba. She's a lecturer and a researcher of constitutional law. The parliamentary system implemented within the Constitution follows very closely to the Dutch parliamentary system. She gives us a brief overview of Aruba's governance structure.
We have a parliament and a government that consists of a council of ministers. And we don't have a president like you would have in a presidential system. So we do have a prime minister, but basically we say the prime minister is the first among equals, so within the council of ministers.
Every vote counts. You've heard this before, and in Aruba this is really the case because of how the seats in parliament are structured.
We do have a system of proportionate representation, which means that, well, we do have voting districts, but that doesn't matter that much. You don't need to obtain a majority within the district to get a seat in parliament. But it goes according to these lists, so all of the districts will be taken together, so to say. And this ensures that also minorities have a greater chance of actually obtaining a seat, or a person they like will actually be voted into parliament.
Hannah gives us a quick breakdown on votes directly impacting seats in parliament.
Total amount of people that voted, this number will be divided by the 21 seats of parliament. So for example, we would have 2,100 votes casted. If we divide this through 21, we'll have 100 votes, which means that someone on the list, or the list that has been put together by a political party, needs to obtain at least 100 votes to get a seat in parliament. So for example, if a political party obtained 300 votes, they get 3 seats allocated in parliament.
Hannah explains why this electoral system of proportional representation works well for a small island nation such as Aruba. She's been studying constitutional law for many years, and in her expertise, having a balanced system works very well.
Well, I think especially on a small island, if you would go for a majority system, it is very easy for one political party to take all power, which I think is not always a good idea in general, that one political party has all the power and there's no counter to it, because we do have a dual system where you cannot be in the government and in the parliament, the Staten, at the same time. But the Staten, the parliament, really has the task to control what government is doing. But basically, because political parties have such a huge influence on this electoral system in practice, it means that when one political party would take up almost all of the seats in the Staten, how effective would they be in controlling the government? I think if you have a system of proportional representation where you have a higher chance of people from different political parties being into the Staten, the way you can actually effectively control and supervise the government is easier.